Hello, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and I just wanted to do a really quick announcement about what's going on this week and just kind of what you can expect from the channel in the near future. So, I'm going to be out of town from the 3rd, so as of today, the Monday through the 8th, which is the Saturday, probably. There's a chance we could come back a little bit earlier, might be a little bit later, but somewhere around that time, I think we're going to be getting back Saturday night, and so I can probably do, hopefully, a league stream on Saturday night. And as far as getting to the other content, catching up in Total War and that other type of stuff, the earliest that would come out is probably Sunday. But that's what's going to be happening there. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to pre-record any sort of videos for the week. Sometimes I'm able to do that, but I was just so busy with stuff this week. And I was sick for a few days that it kind of put me behind. So I'm sorry. I know I fell a little bit behind on the Total War. I did just release an episode of Malachi number 4 if you've been waiting on that, and that has been a fun campaign. I am going to finish it or at least do the standard like 15 or so episodes of it until we're just hard dominating, hopefully. But I am going to get back to consistently releasing that, and then after that we will do either Elspeth or Carl Franz. We'll kind of see what's going on there. But I do want to get back to doing one episode a day of Total War, so I appreciate y'all being healthy. I'm not going to go on another like 5-month hiatus of it. I am going to keep releasing it, so I should be able to do that for you once I start coming back. But there are 15 episodes for TamerCon. If you're interested in that at all and you haven't watched all those are there. But I am going to get back to doing Malachi as well. Okay, and then on the league side, I did the support tier list a couple of days ago. I just did an 80 carry tier list today. And I have been playing a lot of Braum and Tom, so if you want to see something other than just Recon all the time, check out some of the past streams from this week. We had some really good games. There was one where we were down really big, and we ended up making a huge comeback against triple inhibitors, just for sort of spoilers in there, but that was a really cool game just to kind of see how to come back when you're down. We were down 12,000 gold. So there's a lot of gems in there if you like to see a little bit of variety. Those are some fun games. And then when I return, I might go back to finishing the Baldur's Gate 3. I really was enjoying that, and I had a decent amount of episodes on it. I still have some saved up that I just never released. So maybe I can start releasing those and then getting back to doing some more Baldur's Gate 3. I know it's kind of past its hype at this point. It was really, most hyped last year, but I just kind of ran out of time and just didn't ever finish it. So I might do that. I might try out some other single-player games. We'll see. I would like to do a Prof Talks series where I release maybe at least one of these types of videos per week, just talking about just adulting stuff, tips and tricks, especially stuff that pertains to academia or effective communication. It's just how to succeed in college, how to succeed when you're in different social situations, trying to interact with people. So I'd like to do something like that. I'm open for suggestions too. I don't want to do anything that's like super political on there, but as far as just other stuff that's going on in society and culture that you think you'd like my take on, I'm definitely up for suggestions there. And something else that's interesting, and I don't know how consistent I could be with this, but it could be fun, is trying some fiction writing. So if you don't know, and I don't think I've done a separate video about this, and I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but basically my department, because of various regulations, is downsizing the part-time lecturers, which is what I'm classed as. So that means that they are only going to give me 2 classes instead of 4, which means I'm going to make half the money, and I'm already not making great money to begin with. But to be eligible to even teach the freshman classes, you have to hold a terminal degree, which in English literature means a PhD. And I was working on a PhD, for those of you that are old school that remember those days, but you only have until 10 years to finish it, and I just did not care at the end. Like, I passed the dissertation, I had everything kind of lined up, but it was just going to be a kind of project that I just didn't really care about, and it was going to be 1,500 hours. And at the time, when I was trying to make the decision, am I actually going to complete this or not, that was about when COVID happened, and they started giving us 4 classes. So they started giving all the part-timers 4 classes because we were helping them out through COVID, because they could only have 15 students per class instead of 20, and there was a big shortage on teachers. So we did them a solid, had 4 classes, it was good. They never told us it was temporary. So after COVID, 2021, 22, 23, I was getting 4 classes. So I'm just thinking, I'm like, okay, the benefit of me completing this PhD, and I really had to make the choice by the end of 2022 as to whether or not I wanted to actually finish the PhD. I said I was going to do the short version. Now it's kind of the longer version. But basically, I was like, if I'm getting 4 classes anyways here, the only reason for me to finish the PhD, because we're not going to move. My wife and I want to live here. We like this. So I'm not going to go get tenure somewhere else. Which is, I won't go into what that is, but that's just like the real professors that make real money out there. It's incredibly competitive. Anyways, all I would get was maybe a chance to be a full-time lecturer, maybe. And all you usually get for that is 4 classes and a little bit more job security and the ability to teach 200 level classes. So you get some perks, like it's nice, but I'm like, is it worth doing 1,500 hours and slogging through this, committee that was going to be really tough and having to write something I just didn't really care about? I was like, it's just not worth it. Well, of course, the year after, I decide it's not worth it because I'm already getting 4 classes per. They say, oh, by the way, that was a temporary thing around COVID. We just didn't tell y'all, and we just kind of let you do this for a while. But we're actually going to be cutting you down to 2 classes starting in 2025. So I'm like, oh, cool, great. So if I would have known that, I probably would have just soldiered up and just written the dissertation just so I could be eligible for 4 classes. But it is what it is. They didn't tell, but I also didn't ask. It was a kind of a don't ask, don't tell about why are we getting 4 classes here. So anyways, what this means, this is a long roundabout way of me saying that I've kind of got to make some choices at what I want to do, whether I want to pick up some more classes at another nearby college, which doesn't pay as much, and then I have to worry about commuting between those places, and it's just a lot more logistical problems with that. Or an MFA, so a Master's of Fine Arts in Fiction Writing, actually counts as a terminal degree. So a Master's in English Literature does not count, but a Master's in Creative Writing does count in MFA as a terminal degree. So what this means is if I could get into that program at my current university, if I could get into that program and complete a 2-year master's, then I would be eligible for the full-time thing. And that's a lot easier. Honestly feel like taking all the classes over again and doing the exams and writing a 70-page collection of short stories or something would be easier than just writing a 200-page dissertation on the topic I was going to write on. I know that sounds crazy, but the classes are basically a cakewalk. They're really, I actually enjoy the classes. Yeah, you have to do some work. Occasionally it's stressful, but I like the classes, both my master's and my PhD. The classes were great for the most part. The exams are hard. Those are not necessarily the most thrilling, but it's really the big piece of writing that's the hardest thing, was the thesis, the master's thesis, and then the dissertation. That's the real challenge. But with fiction writing, that's what I initially wanted to do. I just wasn't good enough when I was younger. But I'm like, well, I'm older now. I've got more experiences. I think I'm wiser than I was back then. So I was like, hell, maybe I'll give it a shot. So basically what that means is I have to come up with a 25-page short story that's high quality and be ready to submit that. I would like to be able to do it this summer. So over a month or 2 and just pass it around to some professors that I know in the department and say, hey, is this legit? Do I have a shot? Do you have any recommendations? That type of thing. So if I decide to do that, if I can make some progress, it might be fun just to try it out on the channel. See what you guys think, if you want to give me any feedback. I don't know if you guys would be into that or not. But I think a lot of people do watch me just kind of for the talks, the personality, stuff like that. So, maybe if you wanted to try it out as a podcast or an audiobook, see what you think about it. Now, would that be a standard series? Could I do a short story a week or something? Probably not. That would be a tough ask. But maybe I could do one a month or something like that, or maybe one every couple of weeks. We just have to see. But I definitely might be interested in doing that, at least as a one-time thing, to get some feedback from you guys, possibly, to do that type of thing. So again, I don't know how consistent, I could be with that. We'd see. But that would be an option. if I think I can get in, if I can do it, get that terminal degree. I mean, honestly, even if it didn't lead to me getting a full-time lecturer position, which is still a competitive national search, even if I did get the degree, it doesn't guarantee I'd get it. I'd still make the same money, basically. Like, it's pretty much free if you get into, you know, a decent English program, and then you get paid to a fairly small amount to teach classes. But honestly, the grad students at my place, when I drop down to 2 classes, when that's all they're going to get paid probably a little bit more than I do. So I'm not really losing any money by doing it. I have to work a little bit harder for the money, but it'll be fun if I can do it and get the degree. The other option would be I could try to do something literature and just do another PhD at my program, or I could try to do something rhetoric and do another PhD at my current university. I do have some connections in both departments, so I could maybe do it. But anyways, I can make another video about that later. But the main thing is, if I want to do some fiction writing, I could, you know, release some stuff if that's something you guys would be interested in, you know, listening to, giving me some pointers, letting me know what you think about the characters, the situation, or, you know, whatever. I don't know if that would be popular or not. But that's just another, you know, type of content that I might be able to release sometime over the summer. But anyways, okay, well, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out the rest of the content that I'm missing there. So I'm going to miss you guys over the week. It's always fun coming out, hanging out, talking with you. But hopefully I'll come back with some interesting stories, and hopefully you will too. And we'll all come back and have a good time hanging out with League or Total War or whatever we're doing. But that's it. Have a great week, and see y'all next time.